What's up, you guys? I'm back, y'all. So today is gonna be a story time. I don't even know how to start. I don't even know where to start. I don't know how to start. This story is about how I found out I was a side chick. It's kind of weird recording. I'm so sorry if I'm kind of awkward in this video because I haven't recorded in a while and it's just not natural to me yet. So I'm sorry. Excuse my hair too because my hair looks crazy and a half, and I just didn't feel like redoing it right now. I have tried to record this video like a good maybe 4 times, but if you guys don't know, I have a son, so I just had to keep stopping, and I was like forgetting you know, like where I was like in the story, and I just had to keep starting over. So I was just like, let me just do it another day. So today's that day. Okay, so story time is gonna be about when I found out I was a side chick. Just me being dumb and young and infatuated with someone who was just not worth any of my time. That's basically what it was. So this was about 10 years ago. Also, I just ordered some food, so I'm trying to finish the story time. I'm not trying to make this like a long story time. I'm trying to finish it by the time the food gets here. When is it gonna get here? About 30-45 minutes the food's gonna get here. So I'm hoping that the story does not take that long, but and also I might leave out some like little details that I might have forgot, because mind you, I told you the story was like 10 years ago. Bug. Let me just get started, y'all. Let me get started. This is so stupid. And I have a lot of other story times about this guy because he was just a mess. He was just a mess in my life. It was something that I needed to go through, though. I feel like everyone needs to go through those relationships that you just do a little too much for that guy. You just do a little too much, you know, and you have to learn from that. So also, I'm glad that this happened early. You know, I was about, how old was I? I was about 19 when I met him, and now I'm 29, so that's crazy. That's crazy. Let me just get started. I'm trying to get like comfortable. Like I feel like I'm not comfortable right now. I'm trying to get comfortable. Okay, sorry. Let me get started. Okay, so I had met this guy through mutual friends. So let me start off with names. Okay, so let me just start off with the backstory. So my freshman year at college, I started college when I was 18, and I went to a college that's like kind of by me, still out of state, but a little like is near me. So that's why I went my freshman year. My sophomore year, I ended up transferring somewhere like on the other side of the country. It felt like my sophomore year, I was coming in new, right? Also, I'm gonna try to edit this so it's not like super choppy, because I hate like super choppy story times, but I need to get my thoughts together. I do. I really need to get my thoughts together, so I'm trying not to make it super choppy, but I'm just gonna talk. I had moved into an apartment that was off campus, but I didn't have my car that year, or that at that time, because my parents thought that I was gonna be too distracted, which of course I was. You know, I was already distracted, but the car, you know, in addition of the car, like I just would have been off the rails, which I was. You know, they already knew, which is why they just, you know, your parents know you. So they didn't let me have my car. I was a little bummed about that, but I was just like, okay, whatever. Like everything I needed was on campus anyway, because the college I was going to was like a campus town, you know, so everything I needed was already on campus, so I didn't really mind. Plus they had like shuttles and buses. This is before like Uber and stuff, so they had like shuttles and buses and everything to take you to and from campus, and everything was on campus, so I would just like spend all my time on campus and like come home at the end of the day, you know. So my roommate was someone who was, I think she was a year older than me. Maybe 2. I think a year older. Yeah, she was a year older than me. And it was just a 2-bedroom, so it was just me and her. So my first night I was there, I ended up meeting her and one of her friends, who introduced me to my 2 good like girlfriends, who I ended up spending the whole few years with. I'll give them names. First one, I thought about this. Her name was gonna be Ish, and I feel like she knows why her name is Ish. Super cute. And then the other one, I'll call her Pinky. I'm gonna call her Pinky. Yeah. I feel like everyone's gonna know who I'm talking about. No, not everyone, but I feel like everyone who went to college with me is gonna know him. They're not watching this. So my roommate introduced me to the 2 girls that were gonna be in this story. So my roommate had introduced me to one of her friends, and her friends happened to be roommates with my 2 girlfriends, who I ended up spending the rest of the years I was at school with, right? After we had met, like I basically was just like, we were just all up under each other. Like you wouldn't see one without the other, you know? So Ish had met this guy on Instagram. He was hitting her up, telling her to come visit him, blah, blah, blah. she obviously Ish, she wasn't gonna go by herself, you know, so she brought us, you know. So I remember on the day of, like, we were trying to figure out what we were gonna wear, like whose guy was gonna be our guy, because there was a group of them, because they all play sports together. So it was gonna be like a group of them. They were all in like a picture together, so we were just like all like just pinpointing like, oh, this one's for you, this one's gonna be there, this one's for you, this one's gonna be there, that sort of thing, right? So we kind of knew like what we were walking into, you know. So we're trying to figure out what we were wearing. We were all just wearing like athletic stuff, you know, like yoga pants and like a t-shirt, you know. We weren't trying to do too much. So, because obviously we're just going to be like chilling at their dorm anyway. I mean, not their dorm, their apartment, because they were the same age as us. I think one was probably like a year older, but they're all like around the same age. So they all lived in apartments like off of their campus, because they were at a different school. They were out of state. At that time, they both had their car. I think Ish and Pinky both had their car, but obviously I said I don't. So Pinky was the one that was going to be driving, because she was just a fast driver. She just loved to drive. She was the fast ass driver. Like, it was maybe like an hour, 30 minutes away. Like, she would get there in like an hour, you know, that sort of thing. So she was always the one driving us anywhere, really. She's like, so Ish is like, okay, cool, like, so we're gonna see these guys, we're gonna link up, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. We come into the house. It's like, it's cute vibes, you know. At that time, like, we didn't drink really, like, I don't think at that time, I think like my sophomore year is when I actually started to try drinking. I never drank like my whole entire like high school, beginning of college. Like, I never drank because it was just like, I just didn't see a point to it at that point. Now I'd be drinking a lot, but at that time, like, I was just like dabbling in it, I guess, you know. So what my point is that, like, when we went to their apartment, like, there was kind of like nothing for us to do except like sit and talk, you know. Obviously, like, they were like smoking, but I didn't do that either. So I was just kind of like sitting there, like, just like playing on my phone, like just like talking to everybody. But there was one guy there who was supposed to be like for me, you know, and he was not saying anything to me. Like, he was not saying anything to me. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, he's either shy or like he's just not interested. He's not interested, right? So I'm glad that my other friends were there and like they weren't like doing too much, because I would have felt like I was like by myself, you know, because there was, I don't even remember who was all in the room, but I think it was just like the three guys and the three girls, like us three. So we were all kind of just like talking together. Like, it wasn't uncomfortable, but I just noticed that like he really wasn't talking to me like that. So later on, we realized that like we were hungry, we wanted to get some food. So we went to Burger King, which was on their campus. We drove over to Burger King in separate cars, and I remember like sitting in Burger King, and like he still was not talking. Like, it's not even like he wasn't talking, period, but like he would like say little like jokes here and there where like people would like laugh. I mean, obviously it's a jokey laugh, but like he would like say little things here and there, but like he was really like the quietest one in the group. We were kind of just like teasing him a little bit, like how he's like the quiet one of the group, blah blah blah. And he was just like, yeah, like, I just don't be doing too much. Yeah, I like that. I don't like guys like who do too much. I don't like guys who, that's another thing, is like, I just don't like guys who talk too much. I really don't. I just like guys who like kind of stay in the background, like the mysterious type, whatever you want to call him. But that's just what I'm attracted to. So I was already kind of like, attracted to him because like he wasn't doing too much. But then I was also questioning like, why are you not talking to me though? Like, why are you not saying anything to me, you know? So we ended up eating our food, and then we left out, and we're all kind of saying our goodbyes because we didn't want to go back to the spot because we had class in the morning, right? So we're all saying our goodbyes, and I remember he was sitting on his car. He had like a Grand Prix at the time. Yeah, he had a Grand Prix at the time, and he was kind of just like sitting on his car, and he was like, yo, like, take a look at this, like talking to me. So I was like, yeah, what's up? Like, and I was kind of like interested. I was so intrigued as to what he was talking about, because mind you, he was not talking to me all night. Now he wants to show me something. Like, what is it? So I go over there, and he's showing me a video of can I say this? Of like a fight. He was showing me like a video of a fight that he was a part of, that made it to the news, basically. So then he was just like kind of like laughing about it, like this went like this was so big, and like because he's from like a little town, so he was like, oh, this was so big in my little town, blah blah blah. That was kind of like how we started talking, right? So we're both like just joking with each other, you know, just good vibes, you know, just like chill good vibes, you know what I mean? And then he was like, you gonna text me? And I was like, sure, you know, like, sure. So ended up texting each other, and So by that point, then on, it was a wrap. Like, then on, it was a wrap. Like, he was my man. He was my man. That was my man at that point. So we're texting all the time, every day. It just got to the point where, mind you, I did not have a car. So he was like coming to see me. He was like driving to see me, driving back, driving to see me, driving back, driving to see me, driving back, right? It just became a routine. Sometimes we would stay at like my friend's apartment. Sometimes we would stay at mine, you know, just whatever we were feeling at the time. We didn't really go out on dates. Like, I feel like dating wasn't really like a big thing at that time because it was college. It was just like you go to people's spots, you know what I mean? Like, you go to kickbacks, you go to, you know, like you might go to a restaurant here and there, like you might go to a restaurant here and there, but like it just wasn't like the focal point of a relationship. Yeah, dating at that point was just not about like going to restaurants. It was just about like making, like, just hanging out, you know, which is definitely not like that now. Like, it's definitely not like that now, but it was back in the day. Also, he was saying that I was trying to connect with him like on Instagram. This is when Instagram was not anything. Like, this is when Instagram was just like for fun, play. Like, I think I only had like, I don't even remember how many followers I had, but it just wasn't even like that big of a deal to me, you know. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't really like a big deal to anybody at that point. It was just like you could post pictures of trees on your Instagram, you know what I mean? Like, it was just not being taken serious at all. So I remember asking him like, oh, what's your Instagram? And I don't think, did I have Snapchat at that time? I don't even think I had a Snapchat. I'm not really like a big, huge social media person to begin with, but like at that time, like I don't even think I had Snapchat. I think I got Snapchat like 4 years later. But yeah, he was saying that he didn't have Snapchat, he didn't have Instagram, he didn't have anything. He said he did not have any social media. So I'm just like, that's kind of weird, but then I kind of liked it because I was like, oh, that adds like that mystery about you, you know what I mean? Like, I like that mystery about you, which now I feel like it's a red flag because of what he said as to why he didn't have social media. He said he didn't have social media because he said it's too messy. And I'm thinking, like, I get it, but how can social media be messy if your life isn't messy, you know? So that kind of like, that was kind of weird, but I liked the mystery. Like, I liked trying to figure out like, oh, what's up with this guy, you know? It got to the point where he was coming and going so often, like to come and see me, blah, 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 that he was just like asking me like, oh, do you just want to stay at my place for a couple days? Because I don't want to keep like driving you back and forth. So I was like, yeah, like that makes sense, you know? Plus, like, mind you, he had a Grand Prix. So obviously that it's a shitty car. So like, it's not just going to keep, you know, it might fail at some point. It's gonna fail at some point. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, that's fine. You can just come and pick me up and just like drop me off like maybe like 3-4 days later, right? But mind you guys, I'm in school. So while I'm in school, I'm not really in school because I'm spending all my time with this guy. Excuse me, and we're not even doing anything. Like, he's going to all his classes and I'm just like laid up in the bed. I'm just in his apartment, just here. Like, I'm just here, you know, like, for what? And there was one day where and what I would also do is like, I would always make it a point to like, I don't know why I was so under this guy. Like, I would always make it a point that way he would pick me up around his game days because I wanted to be at the game. Like, I wanted to make sure that he was getting the ticket for me, that there was no one else that there was no one else on that list except for like his family, you know, no one else on that list. If he made a shot, like, I wanted to see like which bitches were cheering for him, like what, you know what I mean? I just wanted to peep the scene, you know, because mind you, like, I feel like I don't really know a lot about this guy because there's nothing for me to go off on, you know? So while we're kind of talking and everything, this went on for, okay, so let me give you guys like a timeline. So I went to school in August. We started talking around like January, and no, we started talking around like September. We started talking around like what happened, I think happened in January, but we started talking like in like August, September, maybe like September, October. Yeah, like September, October, we had started talking, and I think it was October 10th we started talking. Where was I going with this? Around like November, I want to say. Around like November, he finally made an Instagram, right? Like, he finally made an Instagram, which it makes sense because that's basketball season and everything, and like he played basketball, so it just made sense that he would make one during that time and then like put up all his like basketball photos and shit, right? I thought it was weird that he was all of a sudden like, his life isn't messy anymore, so, or he doesn't think that it's messy anymore, so now he wants to make an Instagram, or maybe he felt left out or something. That's probably what it was. He probably felt left out and he finally made an Instagram. I was like on his shit heavy. Like I was trying to see like who he was following, who was liking his pictures, like all that. I was on that so heavy. It was so toxic. It was just so unhealthy for me to be that infatuated with someone, but it's a mess. Around like around December, he had I was at his place, and mind you, he had his apartment, he had a 3-bedroom, but only 2 of them were preoccupied because one of them, like I think he like switched schools or something, so they had a big ass 3-bedroom, but only two beds were occupied. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. I get on like a rant, and then like I forget where the rant's going, and I just be talking, and I just don't even know where the sentence is gonna lead me, but I just keep talking anyway. But it's a problem. I remember he had pulled me into his room. And mind you, I stayed in his room all the time. Like I never, that's where I was going. I never wanted to stay out in like the common area because I didn't want to see the other roommate. So the roommate had a girlfriend, and I knew that she was over a lot because I would just like hear her voice. So I never wanted to sit on the common area because I didn't feel like talking to people, you know? Like I wasn't trying to be like chummy and shit. Like I just wasn't in the mood, you know? Most of the time, like my hair's a mess. Like I look crazy. I'm just wearing like a big t-shirt or something, and like I'm not in the mood to just like go out and like talk to people. So I was always in his room. I remember there was one day he pulled me into his room, and I think they're having like a kickback or something, because I remember music playing, and like I think he had like, even when he would have a kickback, I would still be in the room because I'm just like, I don't want to talk to people. I was such an introvert at that time, and like I really didn't know myself, you know? That's the problem, is I did not know myself. So I felt like I just wasn't like, I just didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to get to know people. I didn't want people to get to know me. You know, once I found like my 1, 2, 3 people in my life, like that was it. You know, that's all I needed. So I remember like he came in and he was just like, you know, he was like, you know, I got a baby on the way, right? I was like, huh? I was like, huh? And then he was like, I got a baby on the way. I was like, okay. I was like, thank you for telling me. I was like, thank you for telling me. And then he was basically explaining that like she got pregnant in June, and like this was like his high school sweetheart, blah blah blah, but the baby's like, he's coming soon, you know. So I was just like, well, I mean, I'm not gonna hold it against you because like we're really not together. Like we're talking, we never said we're exclusive. Plus this happened back in June. I just met you in like October, you know what I mean? So it's like, what can you do about it? So I was just like, okay, well, thank you for telling me. I wasn't mad or anything. I was a little, I'm not gonna say I was mad. I was just a little, just taken aback, I guess. Just taken aback. And so I think around like January, February is when our relationship started to really progress like in a fast way, because mind you, we were spending so much time together, and I was always going out of my way to go see him. Mind you, I didn't have a job at this point either, because my parents told me, listen, do not get a job because we want you to focus on school. But I was like, I'm not going to get a job and I'm not going to go to school. So that was just my situation. I was like, I'm not doing either. I'm going to spend my time with this boy because I love him. That's what I was doing. That's just what I was doing. So yeah, we were spending all time together, and like I feel like he wasn't like getting sick of me or anything. I feel like he was like really into it too. Like I feel like he wasn't pushing me away at all. He was kind of just allowing all of it, you know. He just never seemed like he was dealing with anybody else, because mind you, I told you that I was with him all the time. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I gotta be number one. I gotta be number one, because there's no way I'm spending all this time with you, going to your games, like doing all this stuff with you all the time, and just with you all the time. Like there's no way that there's another one. There's no way. I never saw any, like, there was no hair in the shower. There was no, like, never saw a girl's shirt, hair products, like feminine products. Never saw it. Never saw it. Completely blindsided, sis. So on this fateful day, y'all, I remember he was going to a game. He was going to an away game, and I was at his house. Oh, let me back up. So I think we were getting food before that. I think we had stopped and got some food before that. They always had the KFC, and like I love those. I used to love those. He did too. Those bowls, those little bowls from KFC that had like the fried chicken and like the mashed potatoes and corn and shit. Yeah, we would always get those. I remember we had got some food or something, and like I remember sitting in his car. And we're just parked in front of his apartment. And this was kind of like my test to like see like for sure, like, am I that bitch? You know what I mean? Like, am I that bitch? You know, like, am I? Because this was also the time I was getting a little insecure, because this was also the time that his face was on a billboard and like he was just doing really well. So I was just like, I know there's bitches on you. Like, I know there's bitches on you. So I just wanted to see like if I was that bitch, you know. I just wanted to see. So like at this point he never asked me to be his girlfriend or anything. I just wanted to see. So I asked him, I was like, give me your phone, I'm about to post my picture on your Instagram. And he was like, he kind of like, I feel like he kind of like gave me like a little side eye, and then he ignored me. So I was like, let me see your phone, I want to post my picture on your Instagram. And then he kind of just like, he was kind of just like, here. He was just like, here. So I sent him a picture of me that I wanted to put up there, and then I posted it on his page, right? So I'm thinking nothing of it. Like, he let me do it. So obviously I'm like, okay, problem solved. Like, if he said no, then I would have been like, why? Like, why not? You know, like, I'm spending all this time with you. Like, why not? It's toxic, I know. But I was just like, why not? Like, I'm spending all this time with you. Like, why would you not want to display me? Like, why not? You got someone else, huh? Like, what? What's going on? You know? So he just let me do it, you know? So I remember we went inside, and that night he had an away game. So he was going to be gone for like, I think 2 days he was going to be gone. So the bus was coming to pick them up. No, before the bus was coming to pick them up. We were going to take a nap before the bus was coming to pick him up. And I remember there were a bunch of people in his room, because mind you, like, all of his other teammates and everything, like, they were all on the same floor. They were just in different rooms, so they were all around each other, you know. So they would all like just come over to his spot, because he had the 3 bedrooms, so his spot was the biggest. Let me just get through this, because let me get through this. I was gonna stay at his house for a couple days, just cause I don't even know why I was even there. Like, I should have just gone home, did some schoolwork, hung out with my friends. Like, I don't know why I was doing that. So we were taking a nap. All of a sudden, like, I hear like a big boom, right? But mind you, his roommate and everyone, like all his friends and everything, were in his apartment, like in the common area. So I'm thinking that it had something to do with that. So I just wasn't thinking twice about it. Like, I kind of got up a little bit, but then I just wasn't worried about it. So I just fell right back asleep. Seconds later, I just hear like footsteps. Like, I hear so much commotion out there. Like, it took her a minute. It took her a minute for her to get from that door to his door, because his teammates and like his roommates and everything, like, were just like nah, like, I feel like they were telling her that he wasn't there or something. I don't know what they were telling her, but they were trying to get her out. So it took a minute. So all of a sudden, like, okay, so every time I was over there, like, he would always have the door locked. I think he always had the door locked, or I don't know if that day he had the door locked or not, but he usually has his door locked. So all of a sudden, like, I just hear a big like boom. And so I jump up, because this boom sounded a little closer. This one sounded a little closer. So I kind of sat up, and like, I still had like the crust and stuff in my eyes. Like, I was still like trying to like open my eyes and like trying to see what was going on. And I just hear her popping off. I just hear her popping off at the door. I was just like, oh god damn, like, oh my god, what's going on? Like, I was still trying to get acquainted with my body. Like, I was still in dreamland in a second. Like, I was just like, is this real? Like, is this real life? Like, what is this? Like, what's going on? I just hear her popping off like, who the fuck is this bitch? Blah, blah, blah. You got me fucked up. Oh, I almost said his name. Oh, you got me fucked up. Blah, 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 blah. And so like, that's when we both kind of sit up. We both like sit up real quick. He doesn't even say anything. If he did, I didn't hear it, because all I could hear was her. So I didn't hear anything that he said. So I just kind of sat up, and I was just kind of just like still trying to like open up my eyes a little bit, because mind you, it was still dark. So it was dark in the room. So I was still trying to like, mind you, I wear contacts, so I was trying to like get my contacts right. Like, I was trying to de-blur my eyes. I was trying to focus my eyes a little bit, because like, it was still dark in the room. I just heard yelling. Like, it was a whole ass mess. And then all of a sudden I hear, if you don't get the fuck up, I'm gonna beat this bitch ass. Girl, what did I do to you? Like, girl, what did I do to you, sis? Like, damn. Mind you, like, up until this point, like, I've never been into, I mean, even past this point, like, I have not been in a fight before, because I just think it's dumb. Like, it's dumb. I think fighting another girl is so dumb. I just think it's stupid. I don't know. I just think it's dumb. Like, up until this point, like, I've just never felt the need to fight somebody. Like, why? For what? You know? I get up and like I kind of just like I'm still like kind of trying to like rub my eyes, and because my eyes are dry, like sleeping in your contacts is never good, but like you know how like when you sleep in them like dry as hell, you're still trying to like rub them, like trying to like blink a few times and shit, you know what I mean? So I was doing all that, and like all of a sudden I still had crust in my eyes and shit. Like I was trying to like just see. I was trying to just like see what was going on, because all I could do was hear, really. So I like get off the bed. I get off the bed and I'm like, clearly y'all got some shit to talk about. Like y'all got some shit to talk about. I go outside and like all of his people are sitting there. All his friends are sitting there. And I was just like, who is that? And they just like stone cold face like this. They don't even want to look at me for real. They just like, I was like, okay, cool, okay. Y'all don't want to tell your man? Okay. So, so I'm kind of just like standing there for a minute, and I kind of just like turn my head like this, because I just hear like more commotion coming from the room, because as soon as I left out, she slammed the door after me, right? She slammed the door after me. So I just kind of like looking back at the room, and I just hear commotion, just like, just stop, just don't, stop, don't, so much stuff getting thrown, stuff breaking, all this, right? Yelling, screaming, so much. And Celery is the kind of guy, like, you don't hear, he doesn't scream, he doesn't yell. Mind you, I told you in the beginning how quiet he was. Like, he's so nonchalant, so quiet, will say a couple little things. Like, he was not the type to just sit there and yell at somebody. So I'm hearing him yell, and I'm like, do they got history? Like, I'm thinking in my mind, like, who is this? Like, why is she bringing this out of him? Like, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? So his friend, I'm just gonna call him friend. So one of his friends that were sitting there was like, okay, yeah, like this sounds bad. So just like come in my room. So I was like, okay, because I don't know what's going on. Okay. So all I have in my hand is my phone. So all my stuff is in his room. So in my mind, I'm kind of thinking like, is she fucking up my stuff too? Like in my mind, I'm like, is my stuff getting fucked up? And I was thinking like, nah, he wouldn't let my stuff get fucked up. But then I was like, would he? Like, I don't even know him now. Like, who is this person? Who are you, Celery? I'm just in the room. So I'm just like pacing back and forth. I'm pacing. I look at my phone, and like he's like, the friend is kind of like talking to me in my ear like, you've never been through no shit like this before, have you? I was just like, no, the fuck? Like, can you tell? Like, I look bewildered. I look astonished. Like, I look crazy right now, like, because I just can't even imagine why this is happening to me right now. Like, I can't even imagine why. He all of a sudden, like, he looks at me. He kind of like looks outside, peeks through the blinds, and how their apartments are set up. You know, it's like the building, and like you walk through the front door of the building, and then it's like apartment like that. So he peeks through the blinds because he can see like the front of the apartment building, because like I said, like they're right in the front. And he's like, you might not want to go outside for a little bit. And I was like, wait, why? I was like, why? What's up? What do you mean? He was like, there's a girl out there walking back and forth with Mace. And I was like, what? What? Did I join the army? What's going on? Like, what's going on? What's going on? For me, like, I was so confused. I was like, do you think that's for me? Do you think she's gonna point that at me or something? Like, I was so confused. Like, I was so confused as to why someone would want to do that to me. Like, why? For what, you know? Because, like, in my mind, like, even if we were talking to the same guy, like, why are you trying to mace me? Why are you trying to have your friend mace me? Okay. Okay. He was like, yeah, just don't go outside for a little bit. Just like stay in here. Like, no one knows you're in here. Like, just stay in here. I was like, okay, cool. So this whole time he's talking to me, I'm doing all this, like, because first it was her, now it's the girl outside. I'm like, oh, my friends need to know about this. Like, I'm just tapping, like, y'all don't know what the fuck just happened to me. Like, this is crazy. What should I do? Because mind you, I didn't have my car. So I'm like, I can't just leave. Even if she was gone, I can't even just leave. I can't even leave yet, because I don't even have a car to get back home. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, y'all, SOS, a bitch is down, I need some assistance. Like, I'm just a mess. I'm just a mess. And like, my mind is just going like 100 miles an hour, because I'm like, when did he have the time? When did he have the time to do all of this? When? Like, I've been in your spot like every week for 4 days out of the week. How do you have time? How do you find the time, sir? That's so ugly. That's so ugly. In the midst of all this happening, his friends and him eventually get her to get out, right? Maybe like a good 10 minutes later. It really wasn't that long. It just felt like a long time because like you're in the moment, you know? Ended up getting her out. Mind you, I'm texting my friends, I'm pacing back and forth, I'm trying to figure out how am I gonna get myself out of this little sticky situation I found myself in. You know what, before he started texting me, which is crazy that it took him so long to text me. Maybe he was embarrassed, you know, I would have been too, completely. But it took him a little minute to text me. Like it took him maybe 30 minutes after to text me. But about 10 minutes after she left, I'm on my phone and I get a Twitter notification. So I get a Twitter notification and it says that someone had followed me, and then it says that they unfollowed me, right? I don't think it said that they unfollowed, it just said that they followed me, and I looked and they weren't following me anymore. I'm looking and it's a girl. And I'm just like looking through her page, I'm looking through her feed because I'm like, this is a really weird time. I'm at the same time like I'm looking through her feed because I'm like, I need to get my mind off of this. Like, and also I was like, this is a weird time that someone just like, what are the odds, you know, that someone all of a sudden followed me in this situation. So it has to be something about this. So I'm just like looking through her feed and like I'm scrolling, and all of a sudden like I just see his name. I see his name all like every single post was something about him. Every single post. I'm looking through her pictures. Every single picture is a picture of him. I'm like, is this a fan page or what's this? Like, what's this? Like when I tell you every single post was like, Celery's so funny. Celery's so funny. He did this today. Late nights, early mornings with Celery. Just for example, like it was just so much. Like it just had me by a chokehold, and the pit of my stomach just like fell. If it wasn't already to the ground, like it was through the ground. Like it was in hell at this point, because I was just like, damn, like you have a whole girlfriend, where like I said, like where do you find the time? And I'm thinking like, where does this man find the time to have a whole relationship? And why did you let me post on your Instagram if you were in a relationship? How does that make sense? So I'm just like going through her page, just going through it. She never said anything to me. She never exchanged words with me. That whole point, like on social media. And I was just like, wow, like they didn't even, it's not even like they had pictures together. Like she just had pictures of him. Like she would post like his flyer, or like I said, like he was on the billboard, so she like posted like that billboard picture, or like she'll post like little stuff, like, but still it was all about him. It was definitely all about him. Her whole page was dedicated to him, like a shrine. It was like a shrine of him. And I was like, oh nah, like she's in too deep. Like they are in too deep. This is crazy to me, you know, like this is kind of crazy. So then he finally texts me. He's like, yo, like I'm so sorry about that. And I was just like, that's all you gotta say? And I was like, why are you doing this to me? I was like, why? You clearly have a girlfriend, so why are we talking? Like, why are we talking? So then he was like, no, that's not my girlfriend. Like, I'm talking to her. And like she just be taking shit too far, blah blah blah. He was like, and he brought it up. He was like, why would I post you on my Instagram if I'm with her, blah blah blah. And I was just like, you know what, you made some good point. He convinced me, okay, my 19-year-old mind, he convinced me that he was not with her. So in my mind I'm thinking like, is she really that crazy? Or like maybe he realized that it got too deep with her, he wants to be with Lil Miss Me now. Like I don't know. After that, I stopped talking to him for like a month. I still had to get home. So he called up his brother, and his brother had to come from their hometown to come and pick me up to his college town, to take me to my college town, and drop me back off there because, mind you, he already left and went to his game. So yeah, after that, I stopped talking to him for like a month, and he was just on my body. So I was just like, okay, just hopped right back in. And that was kind of like the start of our relationship, I guess you should say. It was such a shitty relationship. Situationship. It's not even a situationship, it was a situationship. It was so shitty. And that was like the first major red flag. There have been like a lot of little red flags, like because like I said, he was so quiet, like, so that in itself was a red flag. But like how private he was trying to be, you know. But I was just so goo gaga over it that I just swept it on the rug. But yeah, there's another story time that I'm gonna tell soon with him and his baby mother that I told you about in the beginning, that he warned me about, I guess, in the beginning. That was a mess. That was a little more physical than this got, because this didn't get physical at all, but the other one got a little physical. A little bit, got a little physical. But there's just so much. There was so much I went through with this man. It's crazy because I put myself through it. Like, I could have left a long time ago. Like, I could have been left. After that first time, I could have been like, oh, no, that's not for me. Like, I could have left, but I stayed. Like a dummy. Like the dummy I am. Oh, I didn't even mention, y'all, to put the cherry on top. When she had left, he left his apartment door open, so I went back into his apartment, because mind you, like, I was in the friend's apartment, so, which was right across the hall, so I left that apartment, went to the other one, went back to his, and because I had to get my stuff anyway, so I was like packing up my suitcase and everything. She didn't like touch my suitcase, she just like threw all his stuff, which was good, because I didn't want her like touching my shit or like going through my shit. But you guys know what I did? I saw that the place was such a mess, so I cleaned it up. I cleaned up the apartment after she wrecked it. Just to put the cherry on top. Just a dummy. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that, you guys. Just looking back, it's just so crazy what I put myself through, you know. I do want to make a oh yeah, but I was gonna say, after that, there's a lot of little like story times with her too, like the girl in the story. What should I name her? I didn't even name her until after the story. I'm gonna call her Yogurt, because she threw that all over my car one day. I'm gonna call her Yogurt. But yeah, I got more story times about them, so stay tuned. But I'm about to go take a nap, because this story just stressed me out. It just drained me. I gotta take a nap. But cheers, y'all. Have a good day. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching. Bye. How do you turn this off? This is so embarrassing.